Hey, happy KOTG Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
I had
Love
my
that.
tacos today.
Love
Oh,
that.
drunk lawn guy.
Some metal mowing going on in there, huh?
Yeah, is it Metal Mow Monday? Is that it? The new thing?
Yeah. Hashtag metal mowing Monday.
Yeah, I love
a
it.
good way to start the week.
So what's up,
Love it.
guys?
Love it.
Welcome to Tuesday again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Golf course Lon is talking smack in there. He thinks he's going to win Lawn of the Week from Kenny Cooper. So
Yeah,
we'll
we had
see
some
about
good,
that.
some real
That's
good
cute.
entries this week. We'll talk all about them a little later tonight.
Yes.
Shout
You know,
out
I-
to all the new people I'm seeing on here. So hey, guys.
There's
What
tons.
is
Man.
up, everybody?
I'm seeing
Welcome, everyone.
I'm seeing 50 people in the chat already. 50 people in the chat.
How's
2
my
minutes,
goats?
What about that like button?
but we gotta smash the like button. We're only like 15 likes, guys. So rumor has it we got a spreader we might give away tonight, but we ain't even gonna think about giving that thing away until we get those likes up there. So hit them now. Hit them now. Help us reach more people.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Thirsty Tuesdays with Keep Off the Grass livecast.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Man, this is number 30, guys. 30.
Dirty. I know we
30,
say it every
30s.
week, but it's just every week it's just mind-boggling, right? Like, wow.
Yeah, we're 30 episodes in, and we have a sweet guest like Spyker Spreaders on our show.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Hey,
Shout out to Roger. Hey, Roger with Spyker Spreaders.
how are we all doing?
Appreciate
Welcome.
you joining us tonight.
Hey,
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
We'll get into all that nitty gritty stuff here in a second, but we like to do this little tradition of ours. So before we get into that, let's grab a glass
Or a bush light.
or a bush light.
Taylor
and
Tuesday.
In a
off
can.
the
In a can.
grass.
Yeah.
And
That was a good
Nate,
pop.
Nate, like you, I'm also drinking a little water tonight this evening.
stay hydrated. It's hot out there.
And I don't know if it
It
was
is.
a real story or not, but there was something I saw on Reddit, or I can't remember where I saw it, where some guy actually got arrested on like assault and battery charges because his neighbor told him that Bush Light tasted like water.
That's intense. That was probably in Missouri somewhere.
Oh man, those people.
Missouri and Iowa.
Roger, what you drinking?
I've got a little Maker's Mark and ginger.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's
nice.
Nice. And I saw Brent busted out. Is that a bottle of Taylor up there that I
Yeah.
saw?
Yeah.
Jeez, the top shelf for the
look at that.
for the show tonight. Love it.
Taylor Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So I've also thanks to my man Straight Lines and Bourbon, I've also really gotten now into bourbon Instagram. That's a
Sweet.
slippery slope because I love
Bourbon Instagram.
Bourbonstagram. Yes, I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
But yeah, I've
Here we
been
go.
a big whiskey drinker for years. Mostly Scotch, and then probably about a year ago I started getting into bourbon. So now I'm following Bourbonstagram as well. But apparently it's a thing on Bourbonstagram to have Taylor
yeah.
Tuesdays.
So you got Keep Off the Glass live cast coming soon for us.
Brent's gonna have a new Instagram.
Yeah, I was Zach. We could barely manage this one, let alone a spin-off already.
Oh
man.
yeah, no doubt.
I just want to do a quick introduction here for our podcast people. Those that are listening to the sweet sounds of Keep Off the Grass livecast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening. We're just 10 DIY lawn enthusiasts who like to talk about lawns. If you'd like to join us, though, on our live cast, we have one every Tuesday. Jump over to our YouTube page, which is Keep Off the Grass Livecast. Search it up, give us a like, and subscribe if you like what you hear. Join this KOTG community that's going on, which we're pretty proud of, and we like to see all you guys there. We also have a website, kotg.live. We got some merch in there. You can come get some shirts and support us and show off your KOTG pride, I guess.
Buy your wife some of those tights.
Yes, got some leggings in there for
Leggings.
the women.
Leggings.
Tank tops.
Yeah. So your wife can hate you as much as Nate's wife hates him.
My wife wore those last night, and I'll tell you what, I like them, boys.
Well, you sent us I don't want to get weird here, but you sent us a private DM.
I got some videos of her wearing those keep off the grass leggings, but those are my videos.
Owner town.
We're also on Instagram. This is kind of where we hang out. So you can send us a DM or follow us on Instagram, which is at keep.off.the.grass. And on our website, you'll find a little bit more about who we are, where we're from, our type of grass, our type of mowers. And you'll get to see just how big Zach's deck is over there on the website. So come over and check it out, guys. And moving on, tonight we're talking about Spyker spreaders.
Hey,
Roger with
Only
Spyker spreaders.
there you go. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Only the best spreaders in the world. 150 years we've been making these spreaders. So I'm going to educate everybody on how we're going to change everyone's lives and their lawns tonight because of Spyker.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Let's do it. Tell
it'll
us.
be awesome.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean,
What do you do for Spyker?
Well, so what I do is I'm in sales. So forgive me for being too salesy. But I'm an engineer. So I'm an engineer by trade, by school, but I jumped the fence a long time ago into sales and marketing. So I can get a little technical if I need to. But yeah, this is some information I think that you guys will get a kick out of. I've listened to this live cast before. You guys have talked about, Spyker spreaders and the different spreaders that you guys are using at home and, different things. So, I kind of took that into mind when I was putting together these few slides just to tell you how we do it and how it might make your lives even more exciting and make your lawns your neighbor's envy. So, give us a look on our website, hashtag Spyker spreaders, any posts that you want to make. We're on all of the Instagrams, Facebooks. We got a YouTube page. So we'll talk about that here in the end of the presentation. But I kind of wanted to put this together just for this group, kind of the analogy of where we are in the scale of things. What we really want, I think all of us, and I'm guilty too, is I want this for my front lawn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I work for a company that makes stuff to do that, so I've got no excuses. But I was thinking about the analogy of, and I know there's a lot of fans of this spreader out there, and I'm going to show you guys how we can improve even on this. The Scott's Edge Guard Pro. I'm dealing a lot of the time with golf course superintendents, sports turf managers at various sports facilities, and then more in the last let's say 15 years or so. Obviously, landscaping has become a huge market for pro landscapers. So, in Spyker's 150 plus years of business, the landscapers are really, kind of the big drivers these days and what they need, what their expectations are. And that's what, we build into every one of our products today, in terms of whether it's the innovation that we're bringing or improvements that we're trying to get. We want that voice of customer from all of those individuals. And more recently, especially during these weird times, we've kind of picked up quite a number of homeowner professionals. I kind of think of them as estate owners or, let's fire the lawn service guy, the true green guy who leaves you with weeds, and let's try and figure out how to do this. And so kind of one of our goals is to make life easier for people like that want to, go out and get the spreader that the contractor's got and then spread the right stuff at the right times. And, we're kind of educating ourselves on how to communicate that out. Hiring the right people in the right places internally. So we've got the right people in customer service when you call in. I'm spreading this. I bought it at Home Depot. What number do I need to set the dial to on my Spyker spreader? So we can we're starting to work on those things. I think this is a good step as well, because I know there's a lot of homeowner professionals. So I kind of put this, this is the Pinto for me. It does the job. It gets me from A to B. It's not real sexy, but the results will be okay. I'm kind of jonesing, I'm keeping up with the Joneses. But I look at my lawn and I say, because this is probably my lawn, I got more work to do next weekend. So it's never over, unless I move to a condo. The job is never done. But in reality, with Spyker and some of the things that we're going to talk about this evening, some of the features and benefits that we can provide in the one spreader that you'll buy and never probably replace, unless you want to make it, get a bigger one, let's say. Who doesn't want a bigger one? So it looks great. And I used I was going to use a Ferrari, but I thought that was pretty corny. So I want to use some good American muscle. And so we got this is also in Kentucky, which is where I am, the Corvette. So
I could tell by your Kentucky accent. That's
exactly
right.
I mean, London, Kentucky. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, 20 years in the States, and a number of those years working for Spyker and in different roles here, and just trying to get the word out. Spyker's been around a long time, and the world's changed in let's say advertising or marketing. Social media is huge. So I think again, you guys are doing a fantastic job here at the live cast, and just excited to be here and kind of talk about what we can do.
So appreciate that. Roger, there's been some feedback in the chat.
Okay.
You said you're going to say Spyker's going to change the world. What? So I own the 50-pound spreader, which I do. I mean, I love. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm not biased, because I have one. I really like it. What makes a Spyker spreader different than let's say I'm not going to name brands, but something that's maybe a fraction of the cost. Why is a Spyker worth it, at least in your mind?
That's a good point. Okay, quality. In my mind, it's quality. Somebody said it, right? Somebody said it. So what we can kind of talk about. So I'm not going to bore you with this too much, but this is just a general warning for everybody. These are not professional spreaders. We all walk in a big box store and we see Pro on the front of some of these units, and we believe that it's going to make our lawn look like that one picture that we saw. And the reality is it's probably not. A lot of these are built in different places around the world. They're not engineered by, let's say, companies that have been doing spreaders for 150 years. So they're just after your money, and they'll do an okay job, like we said about the Pinto there. But the reality is, this is a real person spreading with our kind of what I'll call our Cadillac of spreaders. This is used on golf courses all around the world. So this is probably a bit much for me as a homeowner. But these are the types of people that are using Spyker. And you as a homeowner, do-it-yourselfer, you can also get in on the same technology that we've got on this unit. You can get in on the lower end of it, but get exactly the same features and benefits that they're experiencing for, let's say a $700 spreader that's used by a golf course. And that spreader will last many years for that golf course. They're not replacing it every year. They're not changing it every other year. They'll buy that and they'll clean it like a baby when they've spread and done all their work for the day, and they'll hang it up in the rack nice and dry with a little towel. So they last forever. The reality is that, Spyker was the original inventor. It's kind of an interesting factoid of the hand crank cyclone seeder in Indiana. So Spyker's originally from northern Indiana, but they were the first people with that technology. And that's the basis for broadcast spreaders, all of those ones we just saw, all the ones that we're going to talk about, and then lots of other ones that are out there. But the reality of what makes the Spyker spreader world changing is we're innovating all the time. We're an American company, we're fifth family owned company. We want to improve the experience with our products always. So the chat is a good way to maybe get some feedback from people. The difference between this and your maybe Pinto is the precision. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Just in terms of calibration, and then also spread pattern adjustment, things that maybe aren't even familiar to us just yet. And then the durability, think about the thickness of materials, think about the diameter of tubes. If you put up a tent with a flimsy frame, you're probably it's not going to last. It's the same with a spreader. If it's thin tubes or cables, different things, it's probably not going to last very long, but it might be the one that got you going into, doing it yourself. You're just probably ready for the next one. It's kind of where I think some folks will be. And this is what we strive for every day of the week. I enjoy hearing how many spreaders are thrown away, at different times of the year, and they're buying the Spyker version because, they're tired of throwing away the spreader that they bought last spring. So we're just continuing to, get into more people's purview as really the Outlast version of, broadcast spreaders. So we are the premium. You'll pay a little bit more, but the experience you're going to get again is going to be so much better.
You get what you pay for.
You also have drop spreaders.
We do. We got lots of different spreaders, and I'll show you a few of them here in a minute. What we'll end up doing, when we end up buying this next spreader that we want to get, our Corvette, or maybe we'll win one. Who knows today? You'll be babying them with a towel and hanging it in the rack. You won't just throw it in the garage and I'll see you in a week kind of story, which is what I was doing a few years ago. We'll get into some of the mechanics of the product here in a minute, but I know there was some conversations around drop spreaders, particularly in that one live cast the other week about what you use a drop spreader for, or some of those things. So we can certainly talk about that. And but some of the things that we can spread, obviously grass seed and fertilizer, that's probably the most common thing we think of. There are things like bulk materials. So lime is an agent that we can use to change the pH of soil. It's used in certain parts of the country. Everyone's in a different part of the country, I'm assuming. So different regions have different requirements. That's something we're also learning ourselves. We're really good at making spreaders, but we also need to really understand more about, how they're being used. We kind of used to leave that up to the pros, but for homeowners that we're more engaged with now, we're kind of becoming the experts of that too. So organic materials are becoming more popular, whether it's some kind of fecal matter from a pig farm, or whether it's some other unique thing. Carbon black is a product that's out there that's kind of a unique material that you can buy at landscape supply houses and put down. And it's putting nutrients into the ground. That's really what we're trying to do a lot of the time. And then, outside of that, top dressing, that's more used in golf, but it's becoming really important, especially in drought conditions or high heat conditions, where we want to put down sand and keep the moisture content in the soil, so the sun's not pulling that moisture out. So we're seeing more of this coming into the regular sort of high-end turf surfaces.
So with that, are you talking just sand, or when we say top dressing, could it be a combination? What kind of screen filter would you need that? Could you do like soil if it's screened fine enough with that, or?
I top dress with that mulch and more.
Yeah. Yes.
The chicken poo.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. There are some mixtures out there. We recommend, sharp sand or angular sand. That's definitely what the golf courses are using with that one spreader we saw in the picture where the guy was pushing that on a golf course. But top dressing is becoming more and more prevalent. There's the kind of mechanized, I guess, push top dressers, whether it's the Eco Lawn push motorized top dressers. There's more of that, but we can do that with a couple of our different units. So you don't have to go out and spend $5,000 on one of those units. But you can do the same kind of things on your grass that the guys are doing at the PGA courses. And then, for the people that are in the north and the middle of the country, right, snow and ice, we'll talk a little bit about what we've done there in innovation. But this is, again, we're using a drop spreader in this scenario here, but we can spread ice melt, sand, and salt through our spreaders as well, because that's used to control the ice. And then, in the south, especially, Texas, we've done a lot of stuff with ant bait, and different things like that. So anything you can think of. I mean, we
one of the questions in the chat was about peat moss. I know a lot of guys.
Okay.
We're getting ready to come up on renovation time, overseeding time. So that's gonna be a very popular thing. And a couple of questions were, after I seed and I want to throw peat moss down, is that something they'll spread in there? I know with the peat, it's got a lot of particles in it, so I didn't know how that would work.
Yeah, it doesn't really flow real well through the spreader. You really need something that kind of flows to put it through. Gravity fed. The peat moss rollers that are out there with the expanded metal frames, they actually work real good for that type of an application. And there's a couple of different models out there. You probably find those on Amazon and maybe even a Home Depot. But that's what I would use for that kind of an application, because again, if it's not something that's going to readily flow across the hopper down to the hole in the opening, it's gonna bridge. Basically, you'll just end up with a big well in the middle, and you'll be shaking the spreader trying to get that stuff out of there. So that's what I would recommend for that kind of a material, is a expanded metal kind of roller is what it looks like, but you fill it with the peat moss.
Hey, Roger, I got a question for you. It all comes down to size, right? So you have different models, different size capacities, like the handheld spreader, the 50-pound spreader, the 80-pound spreader, even larger. What do you see as kind of the size of, especially for homeowners, what size yard do you think works best for what size spreader?
Yeah, good question. So 50-pound spreader is all you're going to need for most homes, unless you've got a couple of acres that you're trying to treat or more. Then we've got 80-pound spreaders or even 120-pound spreaders. So, for the majority of people, 50 pounds is probably going to be sufficient. We do have a 175 tow behind. If you don't want to actually walk a spreader, you want to tow a spreader, you got a zero-turn mower or some kind of mule or something like that. We do make those, and again, that's got the same technology in the spreader that we can use there. So, if you're not a fan of walking, that's cool. Or we even have ride-on units. So, this is a stand-on. Yeah. So if you've got $5,200 floating in your bank account from the stimulus, I'm more than happy to build them for you.
Bingo.
We've been moving a few of those.
I got my eye on that handheld spreader, though.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask too. We have some folks that have smaller lawns too. 2,500. Even under 5,000. Well under 5,000 square feet. So what do you see as a good size spreader for that kind of lawn?
To interrupt you guys real quick, since we're talking about the handheld spreader, why don't we give it away?
Yeah.
Hey.
So,
I like that idea.
We got about almost 80 people in the chat right now, guys.
Wow.
It's blowing up. And I think they want a little taste of something. So I think if we in the chat, I want to use Spyker for the big one. So what do you guys think? What should they type in for the handheld one?
Hand
job. Just hand or put a hand emoji, whatever they want. Hand related.
And how about just hand?
Job. There you go. Hand. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Job is implied.
Type in handy.
Handy.
Handy. Throw hand in there if you want that handheld Spyker spreader.
Type hand in the handheld for the handheld Spyker spreader.
Show me your hands.
I'll gather your names up, and we will do a drawing here in a little bit while Roger talks a little bit more about the handheld spreader.
Cool. Yeah. Well, there was a question Yeah.
Holy shit! Look at the chat go.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah.
Holy shit!
That thing's got to be popular. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say you're welcome, live chat, for asking about the handheld spreader. Now you get your first giveaway there.
I'll tell you,
got all this.
Yeah, I
Holy
got
crap!
it.
Oh my god!
I'll tell you guys a fun fact about that handheld. A fun fact that probably not a lot of people know is that when we designed that, we tooled this up a few years ago now, probably 10 years ago. Every ceiling face on that unit is a dovetail face. So it's kind of tongue and groove if you think about that. So when you're doing fertilizer, there's a lot of dust that can get down in the insides of those gears and different things on the other spreaders that are out there on the market. And so with this one, it's never going to get down in there. So I'm just saying it'll last a long time. It's worth the $20 that you're going to spend on it.
That's nothing. That's great.
It's worth it, right? You'll sleep at night, knowing that the gears are nice and clean, just like they were at the factory. So that's the kind of stuff that we do. We're kind of geeky in that sense that we over-engineer stuff.
So that engineering, that having the gears kind of a little more sealed. I mean, that would be kind of your big reason for saying like this is a superior handheld spreader to the other one. Because I know there was a question in the chat. Somebody was asking about the handheld spreader, saying, okay, well, what makes yours superior to say the Scotts, right? Because they're kind of the big player in the handheld game. So
that's right.
I mean,
it won't fall apart.
That is a big difference.
Yeah, and it won't fall apart.
Yeah,
that's really the thing. You're looking at durability. I mean, this is for a contractor that's going to be using this thing every day. Putting stuff down in the fall or the spring. We're using it as homeowners. Once, twice a season. So it's going to last you a very long time. You're not going to have to go buy another one and figure out how to calibrate and do all those things. You're going to kind of.
I do have to reiterate that too, Roger. I'm taking a little break from typing because my fingers are hurting already.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I like about the handheld one is I did have a Scott's one that fit under my wrist, and I would spin it around and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I maybe got a year or two out of it, but it was always hard. It was always complicated. Every time I spun it, all the prills would get underneath the spinner and jam it up, and I'd have to reach under there and pull it out and stuff. And since getting the Spyker one, I have not had to do that, and it's a lot better to do.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's done real well. We make a few different versions of this with other brands that we look after. So John Deere, we make a John Deere licensed version of that. You guys know the quality that they expect. So, trust me when I say this thing's going to do what it says on the box. But I think, that's kind of what we're talking about for homeowners is going to be, push spreaders predominantly, people that have got, money burning a hole in their pocket. We can talk about electric spreaders that you can put on the front of your zero turn. If you're pretty handy with a welder, you can make a little mount kit for that. It's a 12-volt electric spreader. You can pretty much do everything with this thing, top dress, seed, fertilizer, you name it. And then
I got a quick question on this because I think that the handheld spreader, because at least here in the US, it looks like it's about $30 depending on where you get it. So if I was interested in something like that, so I'm actually just looking at Amazon right now.
Okay.
This handheld spreader is $31.50. So I know in the past there's been some questions about like quality control and stuff from buying from third parties. So if you were going to buy a Spyker product, where would you recommend somebody actually go buy that from? Like, are you selling them directly to Amazon, or is that coming through third parties? Or, if I want to buy a 50-pound spreader, I mean, what would be your advice to go get that to make sure like you're getting, when you talk about the quality and everything, I mean, where would you get that from?
There you go. I go right here. Spyker, the Spyker.com shopping store. This is where I would go. This is direct from us. It's $28.50. So we had a price increase. But you can buy this from us. It's going to ship from our factory in Indiana. And we also work through distributors and dealers. So The handheld's pretty straightforward. It's going to come assembled, ready to go. You don't have to do anything. But if you wanted something, let's say push spreader 50-pound unit, we've got a lot of good partners, really strong partners that are out there. Northern Tool, people shop that catalog. But then SLE is pretty strong online. Site One, if anybody's familiar with those guys, you can get Spyker there. The difference there is they're going to put the spreader together for you. It's going to be set up, ready to run. Versus like if you say buy the 50-pound spreader on Amazon, it's going to come, it's going to be you're going to have to put the wheels on, you're going to have to put the handles on and assemble the, the operating rod and the upper handles. So there's a little bit more work to do there. If you go to a dealer, they're going to register the warranty, which is important because we have lifetime warranty on our gears, with our metal gears that we have in our spreaders. I'll kind of flash to that. So, when we talk about pushing spreaders and, somebody was mentioning the other week about, how much easier it is to push a certain spreader, maybe because of the wheels, that's a real thing, the way that spreaders roll. But the other big thing, so bigger wheels helps with that, but then also the gear mechanisms and the bushings and everything. So we have bronze bushings in our transmissions. This is a lifetime die-cast aluminum gear set.
On your, sorry to interrupt, on your 50-pound spreader, those wheels, will both of them, either one, like if you're going across a hill and only one wheel is touching the ground, will either side spin and discharge the product? Or
no, it's a good question.
Is it only one wheel?
It's only one wheel. So there is a drive wheel. You'll know which one it is because you put the pin through it, or you'll see the pin through it if you got it assembled at the dealer. And then you have an idle wheel, which is just spinning on the axle. So whenever you're doing that, if you do have to kind of lift one side, you want to kind of plan your attack of that hill or that site, so you've got the drive wheel moving all the time.
Yeah, and you have to do that so you can turn the spreader, right? You can't have two drive wheels. You got to have one as the idler, so you could actually turn it.
You got it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you'll know, kind of what the story is there. But this is a huge feature with our spreaders. A lot of the other spreaders that are out there, plastic gears. We're trying to turn, an agitator 360 degrees. If we had plastic gears and something got stuck in there, you're going to end up needing new gears. So, the fact that we have our die-cast aluminum, gears in there, and that's really going to help make sure that we're driving through whatever the material is. We're getting that product that material to the hole, out to the opening. So we're getting consistent flow. The other things that really make us different, linkages. So think about it, just, whether it's, we're using solid linkages. There's a lot of spreaders out there, even kind of higher spec spreaders, more expensive than the ones we were talking about earlier, that have cables. So, what we use is a solid linkage. So that basically means that you're opening and closing that spreader the same amount every time. Cables will stretch. You won't be opening the spreader the right amount every time. You might be the first time you used it, but over time you're going to get wear and tear. And with the solid linkage, we don't make anything that has a cable, because obviously the customer demands accuracy of the spread. So you want to know that you're putting down the right amount. I don't want too much, I don't want too little, right? It's the Goldilocks theory. If I put down too little, I've got to reapply. If I put down too much, I've got to re-sow my lawn. So that's why that's really important. The frame we talked about early on, as far as durability, that thing needs to be able to handle. I mean, if you imagine a landscaper's putting, let's say 50 pound, 80 pounds of material in the hopper, they'll probably put a bag on top and they'll pull it out the back of an F-250 and drop it to the floor to come spread your backyard, as a customer. That's why we kind of over-engineer and make these spreaders as beefy as they are. Not to be crude, but that's kind of what we're doing.
Hey, Roger, you mentioned Indiana, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a connection to the Brindley company?
We are, yes. So we're Brindley Hardy. Yeah, that's who we are. Yeah, that's the parent of Spyker. So we acquired Spyker in 2008. Brindley Hardy's been in business since 1839. Wow. And Spyker's been in business since I should know. What is it? 1868. More than 150 years. Yeah.
Nice. You passed the quiz, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's late at night, right? So,
right.
So we've got a lot of history, but we don't like to dwell on that too much. It's more about what have you done for me lately. So the innovation of our spreaders. I mean, we launched a couple of years ago our Ergo Pro line, which I can kind of show you here. One of the big things that people might like about those is, when we re-engineered these, we realized that people are different heights. So not everybody's 6 foot like an engineer working in a design department. So this, so we got spreaders that the handles will adjust from a person that's 5'3" to 6'6". So I don't know if there's a real good shot of that, but we can adjust. Here we go. There's a nut and a washer on here, so you can actually adjust the height.
I know someone that uses the competitor version of Spykers, and that's one thing that person hates, which is the height. You're not able to adjust.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that's a huge factor when it comes to short people.
Yeah. So yeah. So 5'3". I mean, there are people that need to use these spreaders at that height, and they don't want the handles here. So that was something we built into that. So it's a fully adjustable. Just have to have a 1/2-inch wrench in your pocket, if you wanted to adjust it for a couple of different people at the same time. But those are the things that we're building into our technology. I know when I used the Scots, it was probably the cheapest Scots that I got given from my father-in-law, 20 years ago, whatever it was. And I mean, I remember the handle was so far down, and I'm 6'2", I'm like crouching over that thing. So this, it's again, Goldilocks in some sense. We gotta cater to lots of different people, different needs.
All right, guys.
That Scott's Mini. If you're over 5'9", basically with that default setting, man, it's pretty rough on the back.
Yeah.
And I will say, as somebody that I use the Scott's, like the 25 or the 30-pound spreader for.
Yeah.
I just converted to Spyker in
I
think it was in April. Man, it's been a huge difference. But I will say the one thing that took me 3 or 4 times to kind of get used to as somebody that did, use the budget spreader was I was so accustomed to pulling on the hand, like on the spreader handle.
Yeah.
That the first time I dropped pre-emergent, actually on my neighbor's lawn, I dropped like at least 8 pounds. Because I forgot to pull the lever back up. I was like, oh man, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You talk about the linkage, but I have one of the Echo RB60s for now, and I do have to admit that spring-loaded cable that you just release it and it closes the gate automatically. Prevents the driveway spill. So if you guys could figure out how to get the linkage with the automatic shut off, you'll have the market cornered for sure.
That's a good thought. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. Hey, I got to jump in here real quick. I think I blacked out there for a minute while I was typing all those names. My goodness, man. This is our most popular giveaway to date. So
just wait till the next one.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to do it right away because it took me I don't know how long, 15 minutes to write all the names up. All right, that's awesome. Roger, I'm gonna have to share my screen here for a second. So we're gonna pull up. All right, 52.
Ooh, dang.
52 people.
Want a handy
handheld. All right, so I'm gonna come on over it a couple times.
We all have to start humming the Jeopardy song now.
Okay.
Yeah. Ole's not here to fire that up.
All right, here we go, guys. Good luck.
Let's go.
What do we need? Some music.
Go Hawks. That's what we need.
Come on.
Yes. Hey, there we go.
Hey,
nice.
Do you ship to Hawaii? Hold on. Do you ship to Hawaii?
Oh yeah.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that.
He's our Hawaii watcher.
Marketing will take care of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, if you Roger,
as long as you take a picture of it,
Roger, if you play you might get some of those. You might get some of those chocolate covered macadamia nuts in return.
Yeah. Oh, that would be good. That would be cool. Yeah. Just
cool
take a picture of it in front
shots.
of the palm trees,
Yeah, or do a personal delivery and get a Hawaiian vacation out of it, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just jump right into because it's going to take us probably to the end of the show.
Yeah, this is going to take a while.
Write everybody's name.
Yeah. Well, we're going through the meat of it.
So now, because we got 87 people in the chat.
This is unreal.
This is crazy.
Awesome.
All right, so
Thank you,
this
everyone.
is for the 50 pound. I don't know what the model number is, but it's the 50 pound spreader.
Oh man, I thought we were giving away that ride-on one.
No.
Thanks, Roger.
Yeah.
I thought when you were saying 50 pound, I thought you meant 50, it's like 50 pound, like 50,000 pounds or something.
Oh, dude,
like 50 pounds of gas in the motor on the ride on.
50 Royal English pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Hey, how big did you think the tow-on trailer was for 50,000 pounds?
All right.
We're gonna have Olee.
It's at Iowa public school math up there.
Ole's coming with his flatbed to pick it up.
All right, everybody in the chat, type in Spyker to be entered. I'm just going to check your names against ones I've already typed in too. So type in Spyker. And I'll double check to make sure you're entered for that 50 pound spreader. We'll do that
Hold on,
later.
I got to go tell my wife to make sure to get a comment in.
And that's what I had to do. You got to cut this off after a few minutes because I think people will type it and then they log out and they go back into their other account, type it, log out. So.
Hey,
right,
since this is probably going to take a second because this is, I put this on my Instagram today. This is the spreader I have. This thing is amazing. This is an awesome giveaway. This might be probably the best giveaway we've had.
Yeah.
So Roger,
This
I got a
great.
question for you as a Spyker owner myself.
Yes,
So, when people pick up a bag of particularly of, just random fur, oftentimes it'll be calibrated to say, particularly like a Lesco or a Scott spreader, say, hey, the dial on this is 4. What do you recommend for people that are new time Spyker owners on how to calibrate the spreader to meet that?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Really good question. And it's something that we are, doing some work around, especially for our website. We're actually building out a whole new calibration section to help with some of that education because, to have a license to spread material and fertilizer in a lot of the states, you have to have a license. So the deal is, let's say you've got your Spyker spreader that you won tonight here in a minute, and you go out and you buy the, weed and feed from Home Depot, and it's going to say Scott setting, whatever it is. It's a number or a letter, one or the other. And so that's kind of Greek to Spyker. So what we will do, kind of the rough way to do it, is you can take the weight of the bag. So if it's a 50 pound bag, and then you times that by 1,000. So we'd have 50,000. And then we're going to divide that number by the total square foot that the bag will cover for your zone. So if you're in transition or wherever you are, you'll have to look at the kind of the, pounds per 1,000 square foot that you want to put down. But based on that, how much will this 50 pound bag cover? And you'll divide it by that number. And then that will give you basically the dial setting. So on my screen here, which I can probably share.
As I say, you started talking math and Brent just got up and left.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that. So just to make it a little bit easier, I'll show you. So here's kind of the for the people with the left brain. So here's the picture of our dial. So we have 90 settings on this dial. This is an indented dial. So between every one number, there's a fifth point, but in between there's basically 10 clicks between every setting. So we have 90 settings. So that's on our regular push spreaders. This is on the drop spreader. It's a little different. And then the handheld, we were talking about, what makes our handheld so good? Well, guess what? You get some pretty good calibration accuracy on that as well. But for the push spreaders, this is kind of our rule of thumb. for people that call in and say, look, I just bought this bag from, my local store and it doesn't have a setting for Spyker. So it's a pretty simple formula. A lot of the time when I'm working on this, I'll end up with a number which is 4. And what I've also realized here recently, as we've kind of dug into this more, is that these numbers actually do correlate to the number of pounds per 1,000 square feet. So if we're doing 4, if it comes up as 4, we're doing 4 pounds per 1,000. So, and that, what we say is that's for once over. And this gets a little technical, but, let's imagine you're in your yard and you're walking, just like when you mow it, you walk up one way and you come across and then you come back. You kind of do that one time. That's what we call once over. So you're just going to go one time down, one time back, and then keep going until you're done in the yard. You're not going crisscross. But if you do want to go crisscross, you can actually reduce down the rate half of what this is. So let's say we, with our magic formula, we got 4 for once over. And I really want to make sure I'm getting the application really even. I might want to do twice over. So what I will do is I'll actually reduce it down to 2. Maybe even edge it a little bit higher, like 2.3 sometimes.
So that's like where you're saying if you take like a 36-pound bag of Milorganite, you times it by 1,000, and then they say each bag covers up to 12,000 square feet. And then you divide that by 12,000, that gives you like 3. So you set it to 3 and move on with your life. Well, that's pretty nice. That's good to know. I'm always
3
wondering.
would be, so what that would, people sometimes wonder what we're supposed to line up on. Here, there's a little pierced piece on our little stainless steel clip here.
You could just call it the hole. That's fine. Just
there you go.
It's the hole.
Yeah. It's the geek in me. But we'll line that up with the 3. So we'll wind this around. It clicks as you go around. Pretty cool. If you check out our YouTube channel, there's a really neat video of a guy doing it, so you can kind of get a good feel for it. So check out the Spyker Spreaders YouTube channel. That's probably the best way to do it. I mean, golf course superintendents are going to go out into a parking lot. They're going to square off 1,000 square feet. They're going to spread. They're going to sweep. They're going to weigh. That's how they calibrate their spreaders, which is the most accurate way to calibrate a spreader. Homeowners don't have that luxury a lot of the time, all the time. So this works real well, and this is why, again, we're kind of building out our website on. One of the things that we're doing here is, our resources page is kind of building out the calibration settings. This right now is just an article from Sports Turf Managers, which talks about how to calibrate a spreader. You guys can check this out. Look, it looks real scientific and so like high school science project. And it's a mind blower, but there's some interesting stuff in here. If anyone's interested, feel free to read this stuff. It's it's not our article, but it's a trusted source. And while we build out kind of our knowledge base in here, we have a ton of information just on our network, but we need to start putting it out in the world.
I can just see it now. I can just see it now. There's gonna be like 32 YouTube videos on how to calibrate your spreader in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's it.
So with that calibration, is that the same? Is that the same across all of your different spreaders? So like if you have the handheld, you'd still set that dial to 3, and if you had the 50-pound, it'd still be set to 3, or would it be 30 in that case? Like I saw the spreader.
Right. So those would be a little bit different. So that was the caveat there, was that's for our walk behind broadcast spreaders or the electric.
Okay.
Anything with that white dial, which we're actually changing to gray, so it's going to be even easier to read because the white's not real easy. But on the handhelds, a little bit different. We do have some settings, some guidelines in that when you get the spreader.
Okay.
You can also
just look at the label on the handheld when you get it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Just a little different. Okay.
And if people want to check it out even beforehand, all of our manuals are on the website as well. So if you wanted to check out, okay, I'm interested in this particular spreader, where can I find kind of what I'm anticipating to do, let's say, all of our manuals are out here as well on the Spyker.com website. So, the one that I think this is the one we're giving away, it'll have information in there, obviously how to put it together, all the part numbers. These are all rebuildable spreaders. It's not a one and done. If something needs to be replaced, you lose something, you can buy the parts on our website. But basically in here, there's going to be some know-how on, how to set your spreader up for different materials, things like that. So this is like old school calibration trades, where they're kind of driving across a certain area and capturing material, then they'll kind of scoop that up and weigh it. That's why I like the other technology, just the math.
Hey, Roger.
Yes, sir.
I did see someone earlier in the chat say they had either an older one or maybe one that was like obsolete, and they're looking to get parts.
Yeah.
Is that something that if it is a 20-year-old one that the parts no longer exist, or is there a way that they can contact you guys and maybe make that happen?
Yeah. Call us.
Okay.
Check out our website. I've got an 800 number at the end here. We've got an email address and customer service. All of our spreaders are rebuildable. So unless it's something that's just, 1868, the same technology, same dials and everything have been used for a number of years. So even probably for the last 3 generations, it's some of the same components. So yeah, we'll try and help get that rebuilt for sure.
And Roger, what it may have been in the manual or just showing too, I'm sure it was, but as people are kind of upgrading to these more expensive spreaders, we want to make them last as long as we can. So what kind of maintenance and care, do you think we should be doing for our spreaders?
It's a real good question. So the most important thing you can do with your spreader is clean it. And, I think I'm guilty of it. I think there was some other people on here that said they just kind of, throw it in the garage. If you're going to use it next weekend, sure, it's probably fine, but if you're going to leave it till, from spring till fall, you probably do want to kind of rinse it out, dry it off. You can spray a little WD-40 on some of the surfaces. We have greasable gear transmissions, so you can put 1 squirt of silicone grease into the transmission to keep the gears nice and happy, and put it away for the season, until you want to bring it out in the fall for, whether you're seeding again or putting down post-emergent or something.
I've heard that spreaders work a lot better if they have a KOTG sticker on them.
Yes, I've heard that too. I think that's really important. I think everybody should go out and get their own.
There you go.
Mine does. I put the grab a glass sticker on my Spyker spreader.
It hums along, once it's got that on there.
And
it's like
this is the one that I have too. And this is the same spreader that I have, the one that he's given away.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
And I love it. I had a Scott's EdgeGuard Mini, which I still have. I use it for anything that's I usually use it for like chemical stuff, like pesticides, things like that. That's what I use that one for.
Nice.
So I still have it. And I still use it on occasion, but for fertilizer and for overseeding, I'm using the Spyker, and it was day and night difference, just especially with just the gearing, feeling, the gearing, but just, everything just feels so much more solid. I think you said it really well. Like it's like driving a Cadillac versus, a piece of crap Civic or something like that.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, 5-to-1 gear ratio in there. I mean, there's all sorts of geeky things we could talk about, but that makes the roll of the spreader so much better for you. It's better on you as a, for an ergonomic standpoint, your back, you're pushing a decent amount of weight. You don't want to feel that weight really, on your body. So we want the spreader to kind of take the, the weight of that. And that's why the frames are designed the way they are. And, we've got obviously a lot of support in that frame as well. So think about those things when you're comparing online, if there's bracing or different things that we've got that some of the other brands don't have, there's a reason for that. It's kind of taking the load off of you, and you got to push that thing at 3 miles an hour for however far you got to go. So, just be thinking about it, and you're not getting any younger.
Hey, you guys are still doing this live cast? Isn't it like midnight already?
That's right. Hey, this is a real important little slide, and then I'll let you guys ask more questions.
All right.
Because we've spoken about calibration, we've spoken about kind of what we're doing to spread, but one of the things, and it's kind of the biggest secret of Spyker, is spread is Accuway. It's the best kept secret in the industry, and we're going to change that. Like I said, Spyker's going to change your life tonight. What this does, this really is the secret sauce of what makes Spyker really great, and why golf course superintendents use it, is because the wind can sometimes be blowing the wrong direction. Certain materials will want to behave differently as you spread them. Spreaders tend to spread heavy to one side out of the box. Maybe not all the Spyker spreaders, but different spreaders are going to have this kind of heavy and light. As you walk, you're going to see it. And probably some folks will want to say, how do I fix that? Well, there's really no way to do it other than if you've got a Spyker spreader and you've got our dead center spread pattern equalizer. So what that means is there's this little comb down underneath our opening, because we have a single opening, and we can actually wind this inside to the one side of the opening, whether it's in the front or in the rear, and depending on where you put it will change the direction, the spread pattern direction. So we want to, if I'm seeing that's heading left, I'm gonna put the comb in probably in the back half, kind of like this, just exposed, and that's going to correct that and bring it back to dead center. If it's going the other way, I'm on a fairway, I'm doing a treatment on a long fairway, I got a crosswind, I shouldn't really be out spreading, but I got to get it done. I'm going to put it in the front because I got to bring it back the other way and bring it back to dead center from the right. So
it's this a good place to put it.
Yeah. And so what you guys will see, because you're so interested in the lawns, is you'll see striping on people's lawns, right? So this will stop that. This will give you even spread. It will get rid of all of that kind of edge that you see, the heavy, one's a little bit lighter green one side and darker green the other. You'll see that in people's lawns as you're out walking the dog or taking a stroll, whatever. And that's why they need Accuway. That's why they need Spyker spreaders. It's because they need Accuway to fix their glitch. Cool. And that's why you're going to get neighbor envy. And they're going to be saying, how do you do this, man? I can't keep up with you.
Right. That's none of your damn business.
That's right. Yeah, you got to join the club. These were a couple of last slides here that I just, like I say, again, we're selling these machines. It's a lawnmower engine. If somebody feeling rich, maybe won the lottery recently, feel free.
Well, there's a couple guys on there that are like 2+ acres, so they need.
Oh yeah, they're great. You might even ask your local rental house to get one. Because they're great for to rent out.
And one thing Olee pointed out last week is these never tire, right? So when you're out pushing your spreader, you get tired, and you start slowing down, and you don't get as even coverage. And this will go the same speed the whole way, so you get a good even coverage.
You got it, Brian. Yep. And this, same technology. Remember, we saw the $700 golf spreader. This has got that technology in here. And again, the spreader we're going to give away today has got Accuway. It's got the 90 settings of calibration. It's got all of the things that we've talked about, oversized frames. There's no version. We don't cater to the do it best store version, in our brand. I mean, we have our, other brands that we're able to use for that, kind of for the lower end. But, for you guys to get in on this Spyker line, a couple of different price points, with the 50-pound spreaders, again, it's going to change your outlook and your lawn a lot.
Well, Brent, how have you been doing with yours? How do you like yours, Brent?
I love
you
it.
Used it much? Yeah.
Because I got it over the winter, so I used it in the spring, and my last granular fertilizer application was like May 14th or something like that. But getting ready to break her out again. And
I feel like,
like I said, it was honestly a day and night difference from my stupid little Scott's edge guard mini that I've been using, because I only have 5,000 square feet. So for a long time I was kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to put the money out to get a better one. But the more and more I thought about it, I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and pull the trigger. And I'm glad I did, because I think that some people might look at it and they say, well, do I want to go out and spend, $250 or $300 on a spreader? You might not want to, but I don't think you're going to regret it, because I don't. So
is it a pretty smooth? Is it smooth? Like, can you know, like when you're driving like a nice smooth car, you can feel the road. Do you feel like you can feel the lawn better than with like the old Scots, like having those bigger tires and maybe more of a solid spreader itself?
Yeah, I mean, that was honestly, then that's what I said a few minutes ago, is that it just, the best way to describe it is everything feels solid, right? It's not bouncing all over the place. And when it moves, the gear ratio is just really smooth, I think, in my spreader. Just the rate at which it's spinning as you're walking, the gearing is far superior. So I don't regret buying mine one bit. I think it was a great investment. So, and
it lasts a long time too. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's one of those things where I looked at it and I said, well, I'm not going to be buying another one anytime soon, if ever. Right.
Right. Yeah. You don't lose the expensive sunglasses, right? That's the moral of the story. Ones you
never wear.
Yeah. You don't leave those at the gas station. You know?
Oh, I see.
Well, let's give one away. Shoot.
Well, before we give one away, I'm trying to put a damper on everybody's fun. We got something else to give away too. And let's give Roger a chance to catch up on his maker's mark there too.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a lawn of the week to give away.
Yeah, we did. We had a really hard discussion and hard decision this week over the lawn of the week. So
it was a hairy conversation that we had. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. All right. It was an intense conversation too.
Yeah.
This is a perfect opportunity to just say go Hawks, because the winner this week is a huge Hawks fan. I love it, guy. Love it.
Tribe Life paid us all off, guys. So
no way.
Hawks. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, yeah, just also want to thank Pro Pete for sponsoring this segment of the Keep Off the Grass livecast. The lawn of the week winner for this week is. Do we have the picture up? Are we ready?
It's me.
There it is. Mr. Harry Lawn Harry.
Harry Lawn.
Hey, look at that.
It's Iowa, boys. That's what Iowa grass looks like.
Yeah, there you go.
Doing some good work, man. I like those single doubles.
Yeah. Really solid entry. Really good.
Yeah, that color for August in the Midwest is phenomenal.
Bonkers.
You know?
Yeah.
So congratulations from one Hawk fan to another Hawk fan. Congratulations.
Nate's been beaming since we kind of narrowed in on it earlier this afternoon.
Which is only like
he feels like a proud dad or something, I think, over all this. But
he's nice to say he's not to the right anymore.
Yeah. So we had a lot of good entries. Not to take away from Harry Lawn's excellence here, but we had really good entries this week. Again, another tough decision all the way up discussion today. So make sure you keep tagging, keep tagging your lawn, hashtag KOTG lawn of the week. And we'll keep taking a look and keeping everybody in consideration.
We need to tell people what this actually is and how to do it.
How to be the president? There can only be one.
No. There can only be one president. Yeah, that's for sure. But no, there's a lot of people I get hit up a lot of time over the week, and people are like, well, how do I enter? How do I get onto this lawn of the week thing? So for those, because we got a lot of new people in tonight, so let's explain it to them on what you can do to actually be lawn of the week.
Yeah, I mean, just get your lawn looking good, and tag on Instagram. Make sure to do a post. Or I think a reel will kind of catch the hashtag. But if you're doing a story, that disappears usually before we can take a look at it. So make sure you tag your post, tag your reel with hashtag KOTG lawn of the week. You can get in there and follow the hashtag as well to see what everybody else is putting out for the week. And, we all follow the hashtag too, to keep up with all the entries. So keep the photos coming. Make sure you tag us. You could even tag KOTG to get a little extra bonus points in there too. And again, for Nate's bonus points, no curvy or miss or unstraight stripes, right?
Or any mention of Iowa State.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you tag.
Don't go too heavy on the filter either. Keep the
right.
on
Yeah. Make sure you're tagging all through the week, and get your lawn looking good, and hashtag KOTG lawn of the week.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys say? Should we do the drawing, or we got more to talk about?
No, let's do that drawing.
Do the draw.
Let's go ahead and give that thing away.
Yeah.
Pull it out.
I want to hear how it goes once the winner puts it in motion. I want to get feedback.
And they do usually the winners, at least the KOTG lawn of the week, they post all about Pro Pete, so we're hoping to see a lot of posts about Spyker spreaders from far the lawn sauce, and then we'll see here who our next winner is.
Awesome.
Let me share my screen here.
Roger, prior to your 20 years here in the States, and again, we're picking up on that Kentucky accent.
That's right. Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Southeast England, a little town called Ramsgate, which was on the ocean. Yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
You go back often?
It's been 3 years. I used to go maybe once a year, but gotta love the recent times. I haven't been back, but hopefully next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, guys.
Go see the Queen.
65.
Tell her we said hi.
I will, yeah.
I'm a big fan of her Netflix show.
Yeah, that's right. Prince Andrew's available, apparently.
All right, so on top of
all those
50
entries,
51 that we had like another 14 people jump in, and
man, this is like the giveaway.
This is awesome.
Gee.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shuffle it just 5 more times here. Let's see, shuffle like 1, 2, 3, 5. We'll go full screen. All right, this is for the 50-pound Spyker spreader.
I'm nervous. I'm sweating more than normal.
Let's see. I can't wait to see who wins. I can't wait.
It could be anybody.
It's my wife. Please, please, please.
Josh Jones.
Josh Jones.
Welcome.
Hey, congratulations, Josh.
Congrats, man.
Congrats.
All right, so winners, you guys do need to message the Keep Off the Grass Instagram page. Send us a DM, contact us, and we'll get your information, and we'll get it over to Spyker so they can get those out to you guys.
Josh Jones even in the chat right now?
I was gonna say, which one of you guys
if he's not even in the chat right now, I'm gonna say, for the love of the KOTG audience, if he's not even in the chat and he just ducked out, let's respin this.
No, he's in there. I see him.
All right.
Yeah, he's there.
Show your face, Josh. Show your face.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Need a comment,
Josh. He gave a hearty hell yeah. So.
All right.
Nice.
I don't have time for that. Like, I'm gonna dick and duck, duck out here on this $300 spreader.
There it is.
Where the hell are you at?
There he is. Nice work. Yeah.
All right. Well,
oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Roger, we
enjoy
appreciate the collaboration this week. You guys shouted us out. We shouted you out, so we had a great time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you for coming on and educating us on Spyker spreaders.
Yeah.
I heard a couple people say they're going to sell some of their competitor spreaders and maybe go with you guys. So it probably was worth it.
Yeah. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to get rid of that.
And that's just an FYI.
That's right. Shop the
Sean will be buying them all up.
There you go.
You only have so many dollars. You got to make them. Got to make them count.
That's it.
Yeah.
And make sure everyone goes and gives Spyker a follow on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff. So
please do.
We really appreciate you guys coming on the show and doing these giveaways. Like everyone said, like this is awesome. And we got 80, 90 people in the chat. That's huge. So we definitely appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
We love you.
Listening. Yeah. We love you
100%.
too. We want to see the lawns,
Send nudes. Send the lawn.
That's right. And tag, tag a hashtag
lawn
of the week.
Josh.
Yeah. Oh,
I was looking up his name. I didn't see Josh. It looks like his lawn D&D. So that's my bad. But I'm here. I'm here for the KOTG fans, right?
There you go.
Nice.
What's Josh's Instagram?
Meister,
I'm assuming it's he's in here as Lawn D&D.
No. That guy was joking. He's saying he's Josh. Josh said he's supposed to be working right now, so we'll see. But yeah, Josh.
Mark, you almost put him on the hook to send out 2 spreaders there. Jeez.
If you got an Instagram, Josh, drop it in the
there
chat.
He is. All right. Thanks again, Spyker.
Hey, thanks.
Joy.
Thanks, Roger.
All right, guys.
Make sure you're liking and commenting and subscribing. And a big shout out again to the podcast listeners. Sorry you may have missed the episode or the giveaway if you're listening a little later, but we appreciate you catching up on the podcast. So thanks to everybody and at Spyker Spreaders, right? Is that right? Is that it?
Yes,
Roger?
sir. Yeah.
Nice. At Spyker Spreaders to find all the good stuff there. And
that's right.
Appreciate everybody joining in this week.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Hey, we're all Josh. All right.
See you guys.
Might change my Instagram to Josh Jones.
Hey, Cody, we need some outro music
Josh
you can
Jones.
sing for us.
Mr. Jones.
All right, guys. Hey, everyone have a great night. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for hopping on.